been convicted. He has 34 convictions, bro.
34.
It's not like we're not talking about a school teacher. We're not talking about a CEO of. Welcome.
Yes.
What movie was this from? Welcome to the real world. I forgot the name of that movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a movie. I gotta look it up. But we just want to actually thank God for allowing us to see another day and to be able to do what we do when
Yes,
we
sir.
do what we do. We don't take any of it for granted. We understand at any given time this could be taken away. So we definitely don't take it for granted, and we always want to give thanks, for the many blessings. I just told somebody this the other day. It's like we complain so much about our situation, and one of the things that I told somebody was, I said, you got to understand, like, your worst day is somebody's best day.
Exactly.
I said, you have to understand that there's people that would give everything they have to be in your shoes, even going through what you're going through.
Oh.
And so when you put it in perspective and understand that there's somebody always going through something worse than you, it makes you appreciate those moments and understand that, when you really look at the big scope of things, especially from a biblical standpoint of view, it's like God has always really and truly blessed me on the heels of me going through some of the worst times of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did I get through it and he saw me through it, it's like he gave me back threefold what I lost.
And that's how it is. That's exactly how it is. I mean, what does it say? I will restore the years the yoke I stole from you.
Mhm.
And now when he restores them, he does it 7 times fold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how it is.
Yeah, and we have to understand, man, we have one life, and we should be living this life to the fullest, with no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly can say that, man. I truly can say that I don't have any regrets in my life. I wouldn't take back anything that I've been through, because it has gotten me at this appointed place in time in my life, and I'm okay with who I was raised to be and who God made me to be.
Right.
Am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. I don't know anybody that is perfect.
Exactly.
There is no such thing as perfect, but every day I strive for perfection, knowing that I will never reach it. But
we don't. We will never reach it.
Yeah.
So
we also have to be mindful of people holding us to a standard that is beyond what any of us would achieve. And 9 times out of 10, if there's somebody out there that's ridiculing you and giving you a hard time about who you are, you got to understand, a lot of times it's not about who you are, it's about who they are not.
Okay.
And so what I mean when I say that is that people are going through a lot, and some people don't know how to channel those difficult times. And so what it ends up happening is jealousy and envy creeps in, them seeing somebody that's either doing what they want to do or just being happy about life. There's a lot of people that can't be around that and not be jealous or envious. But look, man, we just want to send out some encouraging and positive vibes to everybody. I know different people are going through different things, and what I say to that is God is able.
And he's willing.
Exactly. Now,
what's going on?
On to these headlines.
Oh, gosh.
I can't tell you. I felt like I've been on a hot seat with some different people trying to temperature gauge me based on what's what's the current climate in America right now,
Mm-hmm.
with these convictions that was passed down the other day as it pertains to Donald Trump himself.
Man.
It almost is like test questions. Oh, Tim. So what do you think about the verdict? Don't ask me. Be careful what you ask me for, because if you're looking for me to side with you on a particular thing, you better make sure you're on the right side. If not,
right.
I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear.
And that's one thing about it, though, because for me, when it comes to stuff like that, I always keep myself on a neutral stance. I don't do the whole for and all that stuff. So basically, if you prove me wrong, then I just flip on the other side, So I don't, I don't deal with mess. So
Yeah.
so basically, it's like with Donald Trump. I'm like, well, yeah, he's proven himself over and over and over again. So I'm definitely like, uh, what he did. That's what. Hey, the ruling came down. That's it. That you got what you deserve, pretty much. So hey,
It just it boggles my brain, but it doesn't surprise me, especially with us living in America and understanding like the times and where we at in the current climate. It didn't surprise me some of the things that I heard after the verdict was passed down. It's like, and it just made me think. And I posed this question to you know some different individuals. And said, what would that have to look like if that was Obama?
Man, we wouldn't even got this far. Come on now.
Guilty on all, what was it, 34, 35?
34.
34.
Yep.
I,
34.
And it's a felony conviction for falsifying. Like, you could have had a DUI, killed somebody, and we could say, okay, that ain't really like a knock on your character as a person. That's just, a dumb mistake. But when you are falsifying documents as the president of the United States, at what point, as a supporter, do I stop trusting you? Like, that's when you know it's not about his conviction. It's more about, we want somebody in that office that looks like us.
So if we mess up, then it's all good.
I even heard people say, oh, that just makes him more relatable.
To them?
To who? And what's crazy is the majority of people that say that or have that mentality ain't never did a day in jail, ain't never had a felony or misdemeanor. It makes him more relatable. And you know what I say to that? Would you let him babysit your kids?
They probably would.
It's mind-boggling to me. But then when you hear the arguments for him, you're like, did you really just say that?
I mean, just what you're saying, though, because that's exactly what Charlemagne the God said, pretty much, when he's going for Trump. He's like, well, he'd rather have somebody like Trump in office than Biden, just because of what you say. He's more relatable. He's more
So what does that say about black people, though?
And that's the thing.
Well, how as a black person do you say something like that, knowing that the world looks at us and we have a certain image, how the world looks at us? They already look at us as criminals and less than, and we're still asking them to be treated as equals. And now you're publicly saying that you don't mind a president in office that is relatable because he has felony convictions. Now, if a white person came in the black community and said, well, just made a statement or alluded to the fact that associating black people with felons and criminals.
Okay.
And we know we can go throughout history and read stuff that has done that.
Right.
But for somebody that looks like me to say that further lets me know you need to be deported. Like, how do you say that? Do you have that much money? Or have you come that far in life financially, materialistically, to where you are now put yourself on a pedestal and you look down on everybody that looks like you? That's actually what gives me some kind of okayness, so to speak, with people that look like me supporting him. It's like, okay, it's one of two things. It's one of two things. You were raised with a silver spoon in your mouth. You've never had to struggle before in your life. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it looks like to have to wonder where your next meal is coming from.
Right.
You've never had to wear clothes until they were torn and tattered. You never had to watch your parents struggle. You never had to watch your parents work multiple jobs just to make ends meet.
Right.
The other thing is, even if you had been in that situation and at some point in your life, you were able to flip the switch and load yourself up with money and be able to have anything and everything you want in life. And now you're at the point to where you're better than the people you used to be.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I'm not not putting anybody on. You have something to say?
No. I agree. That right there is one of those prime examples on how people react to certain things, and when it comes to privilege,
I've been using that word a lot.
That's a big word,
but it used to be a white word. It used to be a white word, but we're starting to see daily, and it wasn't like I had blinders on. I knew it existed in other races. I'm just being facetious. I knew it existed in other races, but I was just being funny. Privilege is a thing, and it really and truly does not have a color, nationality, or ethnicity attached to it. And we see it in sports, we see it in politics, we see it in daily life. But what's crazy when it's not white people that's showing privilege, when it's anybody but them, especially in the black community, we say, oh, about time it's one of us that gets No. That's not how it works. The thing about privilege as it pertains to what we're talking about, which makes it so negative, is you're able to do something that somebody that looks like you cannot do.
Right.
And not only can they not do it, because that sounds general, because I can do stuff that some people can't do. That doesn't make it. But when you navigate around the normal steps to get it done, and you bypass people that are taking the proper steps to get there, and because of somebody you can skip those steps, and you're not opening doors for somebody coming after you to be able to do that same thing.
Right. Come on.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't understand why the black and brown community does not see that. You cannot applaud other ethnicities that are that have privilege, and every time they show privilege or they have access to privilege, it knocks you down one more peg.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I was reading this Reuters had did an article on Donald Trump. Trump verdict makes significant number of Republicans less likely to support him poll. And it says a new poll conducted immediately following former President Trump's conviction in New York found a significant number of Republicans say they are less likely to vote for him in November. 1 in 10 registered GOP voters said Trump's felony conviction for falsifying business records would make them less likely to support him for president, according to Reuters poll that closed on Friday. The 2-day poll was conducted hours after a jury in Manhattan on Thursday found Trump guilty on all counts brought against him by the district attorney Alvin Bragg. But this is what that poll also found. It also found that a majority of Republican voters, 56%, said the outcome of the case would have no effect on their vote, and 35% said they were even more likely to support Trump, who maintains his innocence.
I wouldn't expect no different.
And that's why I led with that. It's like, I'm not surprised.
No.
I'm not surprised at all.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
We got to understand, like, if you are willing to storm the Capitol
Mm-hmm.
and do what you did,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they're not going to support their president.
But see, speaking of the Capitol, Biden he brought up a viable. He said something very viable there when he's talking about the Capitol, and he said how and all those white folks started to storm the Capitol and all that, and it took them so many days to prosecute, or days. Some of them they didn't even prosecute, but it took them all that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he mentioned, he said now imagine a whole lot of black folks storming the Capitol. Would that same situation apply to them?
Especially knowing that it was so obvious. And did you watch that The Sixth?
The Sixth.
It was, I believe that was the name of it. There was a black guy that actually did a documentary on that day of the storming of the Capitol.
Mm-mm. No, I didn't see that one.
Bro, you gotta see it. Like, he was in it. Like, he went around interviewing, and every one of them was like, yeah, this is for our president. We have his back. He led us to this, and we're willing to do whatever it takes for him, and this and that. And the man, the gentleman that did the documentary, said that it was one of the most unsettling things that he had ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
He said he literally felt like those people were willing to give their lives for Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just I was at breakfast with some friends earlier, and they were telling me about this book that came out during Trump's during his administration, and the book was titled "The End of Democracy." And I was having a conversation with them, and they said that, and I agree. If he's elected president, that is going to be the end of democracy.
Yeah, he's been trying to get rid of democracy ever since.
Yeah, that is going to be the end of. I really feel that. I really feel it's going to be the end of democracy, because not only are they empowered right now, but to have him reelected on the heels of being convicted.
But see, but that tells you what type of place we stay in.
Yeah.
Because that right there, literally, it's like how they condemn Clinton, how they condemned him.
Oh yeah.
How did they condemn all these other people that did stuff? how they condemned them. All right. So now, okay, why are going to praise this, which is a whole lot worse compared to what they did?
Bro, you're literally we are having a conversation about a former president of the United States. Oh, there's a mosquito here. About a former president of the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and we are saying we're literally saying he's been convicted. He has 34 convictions, bro. It's not like
34.
we're not talking about a school teacher. We're not talking about a CEO of a big company. We're not talking about a uh, city official. We're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about a cop. Cops have been convicted and have done time for less.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're talking about a president, a former president of the United States. Like it just, like I said, I'm not surprised
Mm-hmm.
at their reaction, but every time I say it, it just, it just, it just further
Mm-hmm.
drives it home the kind of white supremacy world we live in,
Right.
to where it that makes it even more evident.
And the thing is too, also how they're like when it comes to the white supremacists, like why would you want somebody in office who's white supremacist? I don't get it.
I expect white people to cheer that on.
But I don't get it though.
But why do we have black and browns? First of all, he don't want you here anyway, brown people.
Right.
Like, he don't want you here.
Mhm.
If it was up to him, all black and brown people would be deported.
But see, that's the thing though. How are you gonna deport a black person just because he's black?
Yeah.
He has to be deported to where?
And this is if you trace everybody's genealogy and understand how all of that works, we're all, I mean, if you really look at it, nobody in this country is pure like one thing.
Right. Right.
We're not.
Yeah.
This country wasn't founded on us being just one specific. Like you got people out there screaming, "Yeah, deport them." You got Mexican people in your family. You got black people in your family. Hell, if you really look at your history, your biological history,
Right.
you may have black in you.
And that's the thing though. It's like you're talking about you want all these people to be deported and everything. So, but when you like you're saying like for them they could be deported too. So
Yeah.
it's like everybody who says deport them. Well, you can get deported too. Then it's like I don't get that. I don't get that. Just because you have a your skin color is white, you don't you're like out of the equation.
Bro, listen to this though. Like his wife barely speaks English.
Right.
His wife barely speaks English.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you're talking about deporting somebody because you don't think they're from here and because they're not American, they should be deported. Like I'm gonna stop saying white supremacy and I'm gonna say white ignorance. Because that's what it is.
That's all it is.
It's white ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because like you can't make a justifiable argument that doesn't sound like you have a second grade education.
Right.
You can't. And so, and even when I hear different people supporting Trump, I tell them like this: give me 5 supporting bullet points without saying anything about finance or the economy.
You can't.
That's all you ever hear them talk about.
That's all it
is
Yeah.
Oh well, the gas prices. Oh well, the housing market. Well, the debt.
Right.
Okay.
The what is it? The economy was so good. The stock market, oh, I made a whole lot of money on the stock market during that time. I'm like,
Guess who else made money on the stock market? Your president. That's why you made money.
right.
That's why the economy was so good. It had to be good so he can make money. Come on, man. Like, come on now. Like, you're killing me. And the thing about it is, when it comes to the country's economy, Warren Buffett said it best, and I saw a thing on Instagram to where he said, he's like, I can fix the economy in 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And they said, how would you do it? He said, basically, I forget what the initials were, but it basically was talking about our debt.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, tell Congress if they don't fix our debt, they will not be up for re-election.
It'll be fixed then.
In less than 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I think the only way this world is going to really change, like, you can put whoever you want to put in office as president. The president is really just the face of a bigger organization.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being a influencer. He is just the face of very influential people that they actually make the decisions. And we're talking about companies like BlackRock. We're talking about Congress.
Right.
You had Congress. I mean, you got people in Congress that's been in Congress for 89 years. Not literally 89 years, but because you don't have a term, you got the good old boys that's in there that don't want to change things.
Right.
And so when we talk about the different things like the economy, it's Congress.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the president.
And that's
it just so happens if Congress likes the president, then they'll do some stuff.
Right. Because look at it. If the president, and that's what gets me, is that how everything is blamed on the president. When something's not going the way they want it to go, it's blamed on the president.
No, it's blamed on the president when it's somebody that looks like us.
Yeah. But see, and that's the thing. Now you have to understand that the president has to go by what the Congress puts in place. So the president can say, okay, I want this to go, I want this to happen, I want this to happen, I want that to happen. Mm-hmm. And it won't happen if Congress says no. If Congress says no, it's not going to happen. Well, because look at it. If it's something that the president cannot executive order on, then it has to be a bipartisanship, or it has to be directly through Congress, either one party or whoever it is. So basically, they have to vote on it, and if they vote and it fails in Congress, then it ain't happening. So
I don't. You can explain that to people, but if it doesn't fit their narrative of what they want to hear, they're not going to hear it. They want somebody to blame, and if it's not their guy, I said earlier, God, somebody that looks like us. I was just really being facetious,
right?
Because they cannot stand Biden. They can't
right,
stand
right,
Biden.
Right.
And it's really it's not anything Biden does. Is he's not doing what they want him to do, and it just.
See, just like let me go back. Let's take the student loan stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
On the campaign trail, I'm gonna cancel student loan debt. I'm gonna cancel student loan debt. Okay, boom. Now it's time to cancel student loan debt. So now, as he was going to cancel the student loan debt, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Republicans, states saying that they didn't want the student loan debt to be canceled. Took it to court.
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't want it to be canceled. Okay, so now it goes through the Supreme Court, and so basically now you have all these Republicans not wanting it to happen. Why? Because it's a Democratic republic. It's a Democratic president. So basically, they didn't want that to happen. Because why? If it happened, it would have been a big major move.
And you hit the nail on the head when it's and I've said this um, I've said this so many times is that the president could have a laundry list of things in his campaign. He could be telling you all the things that he wants to change, but you got to understand, like, that's a wish list for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Bible.
Right.
That's a wish list for him. That's everything that he wants to do outlined. But that still has to pass Congress. Congress has to say, okay, I agree with that, or no, we ain't gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the people give the president more credit than they should because he does not have the power and the authority that everybody thinks that he has.
Right.
It's not like being a king or queen in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
They have the final say so. They control everything.
Right.
That's why you can't say that this is a country.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
if it was the president, it wouldn't be a president, he'd be a king. And the president would have the ultimate say so. But it's not, it's a corporation. So that's why you have a president. That's why you have a secretary. That's why you have Congress, which is basically your
Chairman of the boards.
your chair, your board.
Mm-hmm.
They're your board.
Right.
Same thing in business. Like if you own a company and you have a board, I don't care if you are the one that started it. If you have a board, you still got to get it approved through your board.
That's
Your board
right.
could be like, well, we talked to our investors and we took a vote and we don't agree that this should happen.
Mm-hmm.
They can also get you out of power.
Oh yeah, they vote you
They
right
can
out.
they can also vote you out, and that's
Yeah.
what we live in. I don't know why people keep calling this a country. This is a corporation, and it's ran like that. So that's why when you're like, oh, everything is about money. It's a corporation. That's why it's about money
Yeah.
in every aspect. When
Mm-hmm.
it's sports, your daily life, the food we eat. That's why our food is so horrific
Yeah.
and poisonous.
Yeah.
Is because they need to make money off of it. And how do you make money? Mass producing it. You can't grow it that quick, so let's go to the lab and we can mass produce it at a rapid rate. And now we have the crazy amount of the number of people that are suffering from cancer and
Mm-hmm.
diabetes and all of these different things. It's because
Right,
of the
right,
food.
right,
It's
right.
because of the food they're feeding us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and I still for the life of me can't understand how you could be so loyal and love a corporation and the individuals that run it and make these decisions when they're killing you. They're slowly killing you. We can say, okay, it's becoming more and more proven that the depopulation thing is a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really geared toward, not it ain't geared toward white America. It's geared toward us, brown people, Asian people. It's really geared toward us. But the crazy thing is, the people that you're so loyal to, they're willing to lose you
Mm-hmm.
to get to us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
They're willing to kill you,
Mm-hmm.
a large portion of you,
Right.
to get to us, because they can't strain out the poison that they're giving it. So they'll just give it to all of us, and hopefully the majority of them is black, brown, and Asian people.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're gonna lose some along the way. We're gonna lose some of the ones
Friendly
that look
fire.
like us. Yeah, the friendly fire, but that's the hazards of depopulation.
Right.
So I don't understand why we want to have so much loyalty for something like that. Like, and I still, like I said, I get it. I get why why black people support this. They're not getting what they should get in the black community, and that's our fault, because we are steadily empowering everybody but our own community. we spend billions of dollars a year on things that don't benefit the black community.
Mm-hmm.
We give our dollars to everybody that doesn't look like us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's almost like and so that from that aspect, I can see how if we're not spending money or supporting each other, what makes you think that they're going to support our idealism? They're not. They already have switched sides. When you don't support the black community and people in the black community, you're already on that side.
Mm-hmm.
You've already switched that side to
Right.
that side.
Yeah.
So why not support the president of that side?
Mm-hmm.
You're already over there.
Mm-hmm.
You're already over there.
Well, you got to look at it too, because if they're gonna have someone to be the president, and then that president is about, like you say, a corporation which is making money, then therefore saving them taxes. Therefore, why I'm going to need somebody who's going to help me with that.
The crazy thing is, man, you don't have to choose the side of someone that makes people looks like you unsafe. There is, he's able to make millions and not pay taxes and this and that and this and that. That's a diagram that anybody could take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't blessed with the education of financial literacy. That's not being taught to us. The only people that are telling us about financial literacy are the people that have actually reached back in the black community to tell us about financial literacy. But that's part of financial literacy. Like, there's so many loopholes as it pertains to taxes, but we won't take the time to sit down and understand it. And I don't blame Trump for that. Like, if you're able to find loopholes to where you don't have to pay for tax and you can make millions of dollars, you ain't robbing nobody. You just you found the math out. You made the math. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at him from that standpoint of view, or anybody that take advantage of tax laws and different things that you have available.
That's why they're there for.
It is. If they want to leave loopholes in something that will allow you to get richer and to keep money in your pocket, why not?
Exactly.
They've been doing it for years. And so I don't blame him on that part. It's just the lying and the falsifying is what gets me. And as a veteran, that's something. Honor is something big for us. Honor, loyalty, integrity.
Right.
As a veteran, that's as a military, that's instilled in you. That's ingrained in you from basic training.
Man,
I mean, that's something that we hold a very high standard when it comes to that.
Right.
But you want to vote somebody in that has probably the least amount of integrity and honor, and he don't even have respect for the military. No. He says some off the wall things about the military that should have everybody in the military looking at him like, First of all, you can't say nothing about the military if you ain't served a day in it. It kills me how people want to be so military and feel like they have rights to say certain things and be a certain way and uphold the flag and this and that and ain't never served a day in the military. And then when you ask them, hey, have you served in the military? No, but my cousin, my uncle, my dad. Like, chill out. Just say you want to uphold the American heritage, being who you are.
That gives them.
You don't get a pass being associated with it. Like,
that gives them.
They don't give you a pass.
My daddy was in the military. That gives him a pass.
Yeah, no. Like, and that's how you know our values are completely messed up. It's like we have so much respect for military, but then we let somebody who disrespects the military, we let somebody that doesn't uphold the military code as it pertains to loyalty, honor, respect, integrity,
accountability.
Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't. You can't even be a Christian and be okay with what's going on.
Apparently, some Christians out there is okay with what he about all what he do.
Yeah, God makes it available for you to ask for forgiveness, but you can't. It's the definition of insanity. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results.
Right.
Like, and you can't keep asking God for forgiveness knowing that you have the utmost intention on continuing to do that thing.
You know what trips me out is that how when people run for office and everything, and they have their own views, and they go out and they talk about their views and what their policies is, what they're going to be talking. Like let's say, okay, for example, they talk about abortion, right? And so they go out there and talk about abortion. Oh, I'm against abortion. Oh, I'm for abortion. Stuff like that. But then when they say, oh, I'm for abortion, I'm for abortion, I'm for abortion, but then they come back around talking about, no, 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 I'm against abortion. I'm against abortion. So it's like, dude, all of your term you did because you lost of it the last time, and you're talking to you were for it, but now you run it again, and now you're against it. So I mean, you're telling me that's one thing that's telling me is that you don't stand by what you truly believe. So how am I going to vote for you when you can't even make up your mind which one you want to do? Are you for or you're against?
I really truly feel, and I know I'm a ruffle some feathers with what I'm about to say. I truly believe if you call yourself, and I had a discussion with some friends over breakfast today, and we was talking about that. I'm not going to really dive into the whole religion and spiritual thing we were talking about. It's more about being spiritual than what it is religious, and and so um, I really feel like that if you are Christian, which people need to understand what Christian is, it just means Christ-like. Mm-hmm. Did you get it? No. It just means Christ-like. Yeah. It's not tied to a specific religion. It's not. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like if you are Christian, you shouldn't have a dog in the game, in the race, because for Christians it's more about I'm not putting my faith in man. Mm-hmm. I know God is in control. Right. So regardless of who is in office, that's why I'm independent. Like I don't right. choose a side. Mm-hmm. For me, it's just right and wrong.
Right. Exactly. That's all it is. Right and wrong. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's that's what it boils down to me, is just right and wrong. Like, and just being a good human. Yeah. Like the whole economic stuff, that will never be situated and sorted out, because it's going to change with the times of whatever their agenda is. It has nothing to do with whoever's in office. It's an agenda. And if at the time they need a lot of foreclosures and they need to take houses back, and the banks are hitting the deficit, race is going to change and things are going to change. Like it just whatever the situation calls for, what they need. It's not the president who's sitting in office. Right. It just so happens that they can hide it by doing it when there's a certain president sitting in office. Mm-hmm. But this stuff is not determined by the president, and because he's in office. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's all a facade, and we fall for the banana in the tailpipe all the time. But that is that's enough time that we're going to give that. I just wanted to talk about that because that has been the hot topic right now, right. In the country, and so in the corporation. I got to stop saying in the corporation. And so we kind of wanted to just give our 2 cents, and Understanding that these are just strictly our views. We're not expressing the views of anybody other than ourselves.
That's right.
And we're not saying that you got to believe and think how we think. That's what makes us so amazing, is that everybody has their own views. But all I say in this, if your views has a tendency to have you lean to not being a good human and doing things that are right for everybody and not just a particular race, then you probably need to start looking at your morals and your values. And if you are a Christian, you need to, maybe strengthen your relationship with God,
That's
because
right. That's right.
you can't straddle the fence. You got to pick a side. That's not how this thing works. You can't be lukewarm. You got to be hot or cold. Like, you don't get to just straddle a fence and then fall back on the fact that you're a Christian, but yet still you're promoting, not being a good human, just in general. And having integrity is part of being a good human. And so we're gonna end it there, man. That's something we could probably talk about for forever, given the state of affairs. But we're gonna end it right there. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We want to wish Christy Austin and her family well. Her mom fully recovered from the surgery, so she's doing well. I think they're on vacation or something now. So she won't be back for a while. But we want to just continue to pray for not only the Austin family, but everyone. Keep everyone in your prayers, man. And I say this all the time. It's like, reach out to some of those people you haven't heard from in a while. Check on your strong friends, because typically those are the ones that are there for everybody, but really have nobody that they can lean and depend on. And mental illness is a thing. It's real. It's a thing. It's real. And usually the ones that suffer from it are the ones that have had to carry the mantle and the load for a number of people, and haven't had that outlet for themselves. And so we want to ask that you guys lift them up and everybody up in prayers, and pick up the phone, hear their voice, talk to them. Don't just shoot a text message. That's not that human interaction. We want to get back to having that human interaction, because a lot of stuff can be mistranslated and taken the wrong way in a text message. So we want to spread the love, and how, and you get that through your voice and talking to people and seeing people in public and physically being around them. So we want to try to get back to, because the world needs it right now. And so, but we appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be back next Saturday at 5:00. We want to ask that everybody, we need everybody to go to our YouTube. We've sent a link. If you need the link, just hit me or Floyd or any of us up, and we'll send it over. But we need to increase our YouTube. Like I said, we have some stuff that we want to be able to do on our YouTube, and we can't do that until we increase our numbers. And so we ask that you guys support us, and we will week after week try to have this platform to where we're telling some truths and being able to be a voice for the voiceless. Exactly. So you guys have a blessed rest of your weekend, and how we end all shows: love, peace, and soul.